wonderful friends. Welcome back to another episode of Facts, Opinions, and Real Talk. I'm your host, Heather Honey. On my channel, I like to break down the important issues with a dash of fun and a sprinkle of truth. But I want to throw in quick reminders, no trolling the chat. You can go do that on your Facebook accounts. Instead, I want you to have discussions in the chat, but be respectful to one another. All right. Tonight, I'm going to be diving into the buzzing world of our local elections, which are happening tomorrow. It's that time when your voice, your vote, and your values can make a real difference. And I can already tell people they've been just talking all over the internet, and they are ready to place those votes. And I am too. So, how did we get here? How did I get here? Who's Karen Reed? Because if you read the thumbnail, I mentioned Karen Reed. Well, and what does Karen Reed have to do with Southside, Alabama? Well, for a little context, I began following the Karen Reed trial back in August of 2023. Karen was charged with killing her Boston cop boyfriend with her SUV. She was innocent. There was no evidence of that. But anyways, as I learned about the corruption that led to Karen's arrest, by the way, they tried her twice. She had two trials. First one was a hung jury, and the second one was not guilty except for an OUI. And OUI here is a DUI. I learned that about Norfolk County, Massachusetts, and some of the fantastic citizens of Canton, Massachusetts. And if you go to my channel, you'll see I've got some clips where I went and visited and I peacefully protested with the citizens of Norfolk and citizens of Massachusetts against the injustice that was going on up there. And I met some really genuine people that will forever be in my life and forever be my friends. And in fact, I'm going back in October to visit with everyone. So I'm super excited about that. But I really got invested because when I was following the trial with Karen, it led me to follow things that were going on in Canton, which is the town that actually her boyfriend, the incident, however you want to word it, happened. And so Canton roughly has about 22,034 people, according to the information on their city's website. And that information was from 2021. And according to Southside's city site, we have estimated population in 2020, 9,426. So they're like over twice us. And I didn't know that because when I watch like their meetings and stuff, they bless them. That's all I got to say. And no, it's not the snarky bless them. It's I really feel for them. I feel like they are like so behind. Alabama, they always say Alabama's behind. No, there are so many things that they are behind in. They don't even have a mayor. Like when I would talk to some of my friends there, I'd be like, well, where's the mayor? When they were having problems with their council. And they were like, we don't have a mayor. We have a town administrator. And I don't even know if he goes to the council meetings. I don't even know what he does. But they don't have a mayor. So anyway, I followed all their town select board meetings. They even had police audit meetings that you'll see some of that too. And wow. I mean, I'm grateful for where I live. And but I really learned a lot from Canton, Norfolk, and the wonderful people there. And so I want to show you a clip from their select board meeting. And select board is like our city council. And their select board, they're not like you know how we're all voting tomorrow for our whole city council and our mayor. Okay, that's not how it works there. They vote at different times, and I'm not really for sure. Anybody in the chat wants to, share? Any of my friends from Massachusetts want to share how that works when the voting. But they don't do it at the same time for each candidate. It's at different times. So let's go ahead and let me show you a sample of their select board meeting. This is from June of 2024. So, and to give you a little background, what's going on here is, okay, they let the citizens come up for public comments, and I think they give them like 5 minutes or 3 minutes. It's been changed. And anyway, so everybody just gets up and stands in line to talk. And this one was a crowded session because they wanted to talk about, they were not happy with their police chief. She was involved in the disgusting investigation into the death of John O'Keefe, which was Karen's boyfriend. She didn't do nothing, and she didn't even go to the scene. And just to let you know how awful it was, there was no crime scene tape. They collected evidence with red Solo cups and grocery bags, and they didn't have a chain of evidence logs. They kept evidence in their cars for weeks. And I'm not making this up. You can go and read the trial documents. You can see it all. It's true. I mean, you would think it's a movie. In fact, I think they're going to make a movie. But anyways, so I feel like I have lived it with them and learned so much. So let's go ahead and jump to it, and I'll quit running my mouth, or maybe I won't. Bear with me. One woman show. Oh, I want that one bigger. Nope. And I had it. Oh, here it is. This is what's great about live, is because things can happen, and I don't have a producer, and I don't have people helping me. It's just me. So let's see here. Let me see what's going on.
First item on the agenda is going to be our public comment period. And as we do each meeting, I will read.
But anyways, so back in June, they had their chief, and her contract was up. And so word was going around, because y'all know how it is here in Southside. Word was going around that her contract was going to be renewed. And I think for a month, or anyways, and everybody was upset because they were ready for her to be out. I mean, out. She had already hit a pedestrian. I'm not lying. You can Google Helena Rafferty, and you can see where she has hit a man with her cruiser. And anyways, and he had to have surgery, and I think he's like suing the city or whatever. But so this is where the town has come, and they're letting the select board know that they are not happy, and they're not happy with people's behavior. So let's get this started.
A statement about the public comment. The public comment portion of the meeting is an opportunity to listen to residents' feedback and concerns. But the public comment portion of the meeting is not meant to be a question and answer format. There will be no response to any public comment when presented. The public comment portion of the meeting is limited to 15 minutes total and 3 minutes per speaker. I would encourage those that do wish to speak to be mindful of others in the room who wish to do the same, so that we can make the most of the time allotted and hear from as many people as possible. Anyone who does not wish to speak, or who is unable to speak due to the time limit, may submit their comments in writing for the board's review and consideration, or they can attend an open office hours with the select board. So the next open office.
And from previous meetings, I have seen citizens state that the board has not returned their emails. FYI. I'm not saying they always don't return them, but I do know that some of the citizens have stated that they don't reply. So therefore, that's why they're all there.
Office hours will be in July, but we have not settled on a date or time yet. It's just a little hard to coordinate with the summer time. So, but we will have that at the next meeting. So that being said, let's begin with public comment.
Liza Colburn, longtime Canton resident and loyal taxpayer. I am speaking to the people who are at home, who are Canton residents, who are not content with the status quo, simply to remind them that we have a chance to change 3 decades plus of that's how we do it in Canton, starting in April when we have new candidates to outseat the person who referred to us as effing random citizens. Please come to vote in April if you don't like what happens tonight.
Okay, and if you didn't catch that, she said, so we can get rid of those that's how we do it in Canton, and also that called us effing random citizens. I mean, these people really have some nerve. They don't care who sees or does what they do. And they've gotten away with it for years.
Thank you. Ms. O'Donnell?
Hold on.
Yep, sorry, just take some a minute to reset and
Okay.
go ahead, Ms. O'Donnell.
The chief of police out of Stoughton recently released a statement. I was profoundly disturbed and troubled by what I read. While I am not trained medical examiner, I am not qualified to draw any direct conclusions. The findings certainly warrant further examination at the highest level. As always, we will continue to assist with any efforts to ensure the truth and justice will prevail. Every good and decent police officer should be aware of the angry about the injustice inflicted upon Sandra Birchmore. Sandra idolized police officers and what policing stood for in America, and she was victimized as a result.
Okay, and just to give you a little background about Sandra Birchmore, if you follow my Facebook page, I share a lot of the information about her, but this was another case that a lot of the same, we'll say players, but police officers and law enforcement investigated. And don't get me wrong, y'all know that I back the blue. I don't only back the good ones. But anyways, so back to Sandra Birchmore. She was found murdered, and people were like, and she was pregnant, and people were like, no, she didn't. No, she didn't. And come to find out, another autopsy was done, and it concluded that she, I'm sorry, not murdered. She committed suicide. Sorry. And then it concluded that she did not, commit suicide. It was murder. And it was her boyfriend who was a police officer there. And what's sad is with her case is she was in like their pilot program where they get to shadow the police officers. And you can just imagine a young girl with some men that do not have morals at all. And that's what I'll leave with that about Sandra. So, but anyways, it's a sad story, but they're working on getting justice for her. So this is what she's talking about, Sandra Birchmore.
The only mantra a good cop must have is never again and never ever on my watch. Quoting another person today is Alan Jackson. You have the most powerful tool. You have a vote. You have agreed to give the community your best. What will you do in this moment? Will you say you will never look the other way? And lastly, quoting Chris Albert, you are an embarrassment. It's time for you to resign.
Okay, so before this next lady starts, they're talking about Chris Albert, who is one of the select boardmen. And some things about him are he doesn't pay his taxes, has several tax liens, and back in 1994, I think, I was looking at the police report today, he killed a man. He was, I believe, drinking and driving, and yeah, hit somebody, and that person died. His name was Peter. I can't remember his last name, but anyways, and so, and I think he only got 6 months because down in Canton they have that good old boy system, and it's very what they like to call incestuous there. Like he's on the select board. His brother is a detective, or was. He retired. He has a brother that was a detective in Boston, Boston police. He has another brother that I think he's a detective in Canton. And anyway, so do you get what I'm saying? It's like, and there's nothing wrong with family, being connected like that. But when you start using it to manipulate people, to get freebies, or to get away, or to cover up, or to do illegal things, that's not a good thing. So that's why they're applauding, because every time they have a meeting, most of the time, well, I say every time, most of the time, they're always asking him to resign. And now that Karen Reed's criminal case is over with, the ones that would go out and do standouts in support for her are doing standouts for the town to get Chris to resign. Because who wants somebody representing their town that doesn't pay his taxes and killed a man? But anyway, so that's what that little nugget was about.
Hi, my name is Elise Cohen, a Canton resident. With yesterday's awfully sad news that Sandra Birchmore's death in 2021 has been ruled a homicide, aka she did not commit suicide, but rather she was suicided by the father of her baby, who happened to be a Stoughton cop. In today's jury deliberations, we are on the precipice of the verdict in the 2022 death of Officer John O'Keefe and the subsequent trial of Karen Reed. We are about to watch several persons in our community receive federal indictments. As such, we citizens and Canton taxpayers are no longer putting up with being ignored at these select board meetings. You simply cannot continue to pretend to listen to your constituents, and sometimes not even pretend, but instead be fidgeting with your iced coffee or looking at your laptop, playing solitaire, whatever you're doing, while people bring up very valid, crucial, and urgent matters. This business as usual attitude is beyond reprehensible and shows uncaring, unethical behavior, especially while our town is on fire. Change is needed yesterday, at a time when all eyes are on Canton, to even consider contract renewal for our police chief, who allegedly took part in the murder cover-up, is equally reprehensible. Chief Rafferty should be fired, not rehired, and for the select board to vote her back in to continue ineffectively leading the department where her reports have no respect for her is preposterous. All of our safety is currently at stake with her at the helm. And I wonder, and I ask, how you can possibly justify this vote. Certainly it is not by reviewing her past and current performance. CPD had no disciplinary actions reported since 2000, yet I have a post-commission report in my hands listing 61 complaints involving 25 out of 46 officers on the roster, many with multiple incidents. The officers were reprimanded, counseled, or were involved in civil lawsuits, resulting in the town paying out lots of money in settlements to the aggrieved. One officer was named in not one, but 2 civil lawsuits, and instead of getting fired, that officer got promoted. Insane, isn't it? And the chief herself had 3 complaints, with 1 ending in a civil lawsuit. Interestingly enough, 3 CPD LE that were named recently as being allegedly involved in this case have no complaints. Chief Berkowitz, Kevin Albert, and Tim Kelleher, no complaints since 2000. Could be, I don't know. And 3 involved had complaints that once they were investigated were unsubstantiated, according to this report. That's Gallagher, Good, and Healy. In any case, I ask you to seriously consider the effect that renewing Helena's contract would have on this town. Thank you.
Ms. O'Donnell, can you please step away? You've already been at the microphone. Can you please step back? All the way back, please. Thank you.
But they know their names.
You're up.
Kristen Anderson, Canton resident. The women ahead of me, the women behind me, the women too scared to speak, and myself are somebody's daughter, sister, mother, maybe grandmother, and wife. Would any of you want the women near and dear to your heart to be treated in the same manner that we are by the boys of this town? And please do not confuse the boys with the men. There is no comparison, none. We demand respect. We will not shut up until we get it. Speaking of respect, Mr. Albert is still allowed a seat amongst you when he has no idea what respect is. His antics on Sunday evening were unacceptable. There is no law forbidding anyone from patronizing a neighboring business, and the support he gave his family for disrespecting those patrons is disgusting and unacceptable. Mr. Albert being on the board holds him to a higher standard. But you laughed at the sexually inappropriate comments, the body shaming, the threats to smash somebody's skull up and down the street, and all the other.
Now, can you imagine someone on our city council? And I've seen the video, and he did. He came out of his pizza place. It's called D&E Pizza, and I told him he bashed his skull up and down the sidewalk, and he was coming out of another restaurant. And yes, this person he has a beef with, but hey, they've been getting along or getting away with it for as long as they wanted to. So he didn't care. He didn't care that he was being recorded saying that, because what's the select board going to do? Are they going to do anything? No, because still, as of right now, August the 25th, Chris Albert is still on the select board.
Comments that were very disrespectful to a woman. You laughed. You laughed as your sister-in-law called me fat. You laughed as your sister-in-law called me Big Bird. You laughed when your son said, and I quote, "You look like a dude." Oh, and don't worry, I won't tell you you gotta go, because you already know. You are a sad representative of this town, an embarrassment, a disgrace. If you don't step down, shut your mouth, and have your families' mouths shut as well. Live up to the standards of an elected official. The women here tonight are strong women, and we will not be silenced by your arrogance.
Okay, we're going to listen to this last one. And he really spoke eloquently, and he really had heart behind what he said. You know, a lot of these people, they're just, mouthing off because they're tired of their, I was about to say SHIT, they're tired of their crap. They're tired of dealing with it. But he's very good. So I just want us to take a listen to him, and then we'll move on.
James White. So, the last time I spoke, I talked about integrity of the board and what their responsibilities were as far as what they needed to do for the town. They do not owe Helena Rafferty anything. Their obligation is to the town's people. What is best for the town, not Helena. I mean, that is what your job is, what you're elected for. You ran for a position to run the town as best you thought. And if you think rehiring Helena is best for the town, you're sadly mistaken. The people have already spoken about that. So I don't understand what the problem is. Why can't you see that and address it and say that to the townspeople, we understand, we hear you, and we will do something to ensure that what we do is best for the town. The town of Canton, not Helena Rafferty or the police department. The town. That's what is, the voice is being spoken, and that's what should be heard. And that's what you should be doing as representatives of the town. And, you know, Mr. Albert, you represent the town right now, unfortunately. And your actions are speaking how you feel about how you represent the town. Okay? Everybody's hearing what you're saying. And everybody's hearing your silence. This board. Do something that is appropriate and save the town before it's too late.
So that was really touching to me because that's how I feel about our town. Like, of course, our people are not as bad as some of that mess going on, but I think we want to find that balance where we make sure that we have people on our council that we can trust, and that find that balance of, what am I trying to say? The balance of listening to the people, but making sure they solve what we're wanting done. I don't know how to word that better than that, but anyways, the way he said that was beautiful, and I'll probably clip it and save it and share it on my channel, but I can't brag about that enough, because I don't want Southside to ever get as bad as Canton. And that's why I started this. That's why I'm doing it. So one more thing. Now, this one is really funny to me, and I watched about all 4 or 5 of them because after the last one, they disbanded. So Canton had a police audit. Well, let me take that back. Some of the citizens wanted to have a police audit because of all the shadiness going on during these high-profile cases that the police department wasn't doing a good job as a whole. So they voted, and they got, the votes for the police audit won. Well, they got this police audit committee together, and there are 5 people. One of them, for sure, did not want the police audit. 2 of them are maybes. I'm not sure. I can't remember. And then 2 were for it. So guess which one? Just listen and guess which one was the one that didn't want it. All right, hang on. I don't want that one.
And any comments they might have, Kathleen?
Hi, everybody.
Okay, and this is their very first one, and we'll probably watch less than, not that much, just enough where you can get an idea what kind of, I'll say it, shit show this was. But I loved it. I couldn't wait for the next one. And 2 of them I have so much appreciation for, and the rest of them, no, they can go on. All right.
I'm Kathleen.
I think it'd be a good idea for the members to maybe introduce themselves. And any comments they might have? Kathleen?
Hi, everybody. I'm Kathleen Howley. I've lived in Canton since 2006, so I'm new here. And it's an honor to serve on the Independent Police Audit Procurement Committee. I do have a question because I was going to ask it as a point of order, but I'll ask it now. When Article 6 was passed by 903 voters, I'll just note that's triple the amount that usually passes our entire annual budget. There was no mention of a chairman in the motion, but the January 22nd letter from Randy Scollins appointed Mr. McCarthy as chairman. So I do think that was exceeding the powers that were given under this article that passed a special town meeting. I do think it would be nice, a show of independence for the committee, because we want to reassure taxpayers that our $7 million a year plus, if you don't count capital expenditures, are well spent. We are fund the police people. We want to fund the police. We are paying the taxes that fund the police, and we're happy to do that. We just want assurance that our money is being well spent, and the way to get that is with a truly independent committee that is perceived as independent, that there's no, because there's two problems, a conflict of interest and an appearance of a conflict of interest, both are problems. So I think it would be a nice move if the committee chose its own chairman and had nominations other than Bob, and Bob, you're a wonderful person, but it was not given in the article that passed the special town meeting. Randy Scollins just appointed Bob, which does not seem quite according to Robert's rules. Thank you.
Hi, my name is David Clow. I've been living in Canton since 2015. I'm a member of the Finance Committee, as well as I've served on the Capital Planning Committee in the past. Just honored and privileged to be a part of this committee, and in hopes that the town can heal and move forward in the right direction. And thank you very much.
Hello, I'm Dan Muse, an emergency physician working at Brockton Hospital, who's been living in Canton since the fall of 1995. I have been involved as a volunteer in multiple areas, not much legislative in the town of Canton. Also, some issues have come up, and I thought that I would just make a statement to clarify some of the things that recently have been stated on social media, which, by the way, has to be sent to me because I do not have a social media platform. So, several statements have been made about my relationship with the Canton Police Department, Municipal Police Training Committee, and the Norfolk County DA's office. Since 2013, I've been involved with the medical training of police in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. Began with naloxone training, which is an antidote for opioid overdoses, an epidemic that is now taking over 100,000 lives every year in this country. On my time and expense, I assisted the district attorneys in Norfolk County and Middlesex County with naloxone train-the-trainer programs for all the police departments in their jurisdiction. At the behest of Brockton Hospital, I also did the same for Plymouth County. I also trained the local colleges and universities, along with several corrections departments in this training. My work with the Municipal Police Training Center is as a medical advisor. I oversee the medical curriculum and the medical training to assure that the police and the citizens of the Commonwealth have the very best care in the event of an accident or medical emergency. My direct in-person training is very limited, as most training is done virtually. I have never at any time at the MPTC trained any cadets, except for advanced tactical training that was last offered before COVID-19.
I've not been around cadets except, okay, I'm sorry, I just, this is so ridiculous. He shouldn't even be on this committee. You train cadets? I don't care if you talk to them for 5 minutes. You don't need to be on this committee. You do not need to be on the committee. End of story. He should have already been out.
I have only been involved with in-person training for the instructors and not individual police officers. My relationship with the Canton Police Department is voluntary. I am not the medical...
I would not even admit that. I'm sorry. Okay, to the good Canton police officers, we love you. But no, dude, I mean, no, he should not even, this is a conflict of interest. Him just saying whatever voluntary with Canton, I mean, he has something, there's a connection. So why would you be on a committee that is going to audit people you may have come in contact with? This is where you just have to say, I'm sorry, I need to step away, or like judges say, recuse themselves, whatever. He should not be there.
Director for the Canton Police, and there is no contract with this department. The statement made on the Board of Health agenda dated August 8th, 2022 is erroneous.
Oh,
when asked,
erroneous.
I volunteered to do medical training and have answered medical questions, not as their medical director, but as a knowledgeable town citizen who is willing to help.
Aww.
Over the years, I've signed off on their medical detainee policy, which assures that a detainee in the police department receives appropriate medical care when necessary. It should be noted that I have done this for several towns in the Commonwealth. Lastly, I am not here to represent 903 citizens. I'm here to represent all the citizens and the taxpayers of Canton.
Oh, yeah.
Volunteering my...
Okay, I know why he said that, because how many people I said they had? 20-something thousand? Only 900 came to vote. And that's a shame, because this is a this was a huge deal.
Time to multiple town agencies, police, fire, school, recreation, to name a few. If that is a conflict of interest, then I'm guilty. I would think, however,
I just
that the
told
spirit
you
of
were.
voluntarism...
I just told him. You are guilty. You shouldn't even be sitting there. Oh my gosh. I bet that guy beside him is like, Lord, how much longer until this meeting's over with? I gotta go.
is exactly what is needed to ensure the impartiality people are looking for. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is John Kelly. I've been a Canton resident since 1973.
Oh my gosh.
A member at this table, does it not, Bob?
Yes, it does.
I'm a retired lieutenant.
Okay, so by them talking like that, you can already tell they're good old buddies right there. Oh, since whatever, right, Bob? Okay, no. No. That does not need to be going on. Wasting people's time and wasting our time because we're sitting here watching it.
I'm a colonel from the state police. I've been retired for about 18 years. And I just want to make one minor correction. Last night, I don't do social media, and I'm not on any...
For the love of anything good. If you are going to be a public official in the sense of like the city council, where your job is to, the citizens contact you, you should have at least one form of social media. And it should be Facebook, because that's where all small towns are, and they get on their gossip pages. So you might as well do Facebook. Jeez. And it's not that hard to get one set up.
Platforms, and I very rarely read email. There was an email that came out last night that referenced a number of reasons why I could not be a participant in this committee because I could not be fair and impartial. And one of the reasons that it referenced the state police bio.
Oh my God.
It was a very...
Okay, I'm going to fast forward him because for reasons unknown, he's in a storytelling mode. And anyways, the point is, somebody sent out an email or sent something out. I don't know. And it said that he, had connections with the police or whatever. And whatever it was, they had picked the wrong person. It wasn't the same person. So all you gossipers out there, if you're going to gossip and tell people, you better get your facts right. Because if I find out, I'm going to call you out. So let's fast forward. I want to get to some good stuff. And plus, I want to talk about our stuff and get ready for tomorrow. Okay, blah, blah.
Till that point, we're under Robert.
Oh, no, we're about to miss some good stuff. Okay. Let's see if I can get it just right. Okay. All right. So Bob is about to talk.
Because of the past work on putting together RFPs for the town.
Okay. He's talking about,
He
his
has spent
experience.
probably $165 million on projects throughout the town. Every one of those projects come in on time and on budget. That's a pretty damn good track record.
Okay, so keep in mind, he's bragging about what all, the experience he's got. But I want you to pay attention to his behavior.
And hopefully we'll be able to do something with this as well. That'll give you the introduction to all of us here tonight. And I would say we'd go to the first point of our agenda. I'd like to ask a question. No, I'm sorry. The meeting tonight is basically, no, please sit down.
They introduce themselves, and I would like to ask them a question.
No, at the end of the meeting.
Okay, I know this woman in the background. It's Rita. I love her. But by this time, they've been dealing with this SHIT for over a year. Well over a year. Some of it for decades. And they're tired of it. So that's why she's like, no, I want to ask a question. Since y'all are doing the introductions, I would like to ask a question. What would have heard? I mean, we had to sit back and listen to so-and-so tell a story about an email that didn't have his information. I mean, what was it going to hurt to have Rita ask a question, or at least find out when she could ask a question? Because Lord knows Bob wouldn't allow it.
At the end of the meeting, at public comment, you can. Up until that point, we're under Robert's Rules of Order, and please sit down. Please sit down. Please sit down.
This is why we're having this audit. I will sit down, Mr. McCarthy.
Thank you.
This is why we're having this thing, because there's a trust issue, and you won't even let me ask a simple question. This is why the community wants the audit. Thank you. I will wait until the agenda items and then public comments.
I mean, you can tell right there, she is sick of that mess. She has had enough. And I don't blame her because, like I said, I've watched all these. So a lot of these people, I know who they are. But, and she's right. I mean, all I had to do was say, Miss, I forgot what Rita's last name is. But anyways, Miss Rita, we're going to wait till at the end of the meeting to have public comment. So if you don't mind having a seat, and then I'll let you guys know when, we're going to do that. No, he was sitting there hollering at her, and please sit down. And that tone is not nice. It doesn't matter how many pleases you add in it.
All right, I'm looking for nominations for chairman of the Police Audit Committee.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to nominate Dave Clow for chairman.
Okay, let me just go ahead in case you didn't guess. So the guy sitting at the head of the table, in front of the flag, okay, he was the one that did not want this committee, period. Okay, and then the other two, the two gentlemen that would be on our right as a viewer, his left. I don't know. I think they were on the fence, or maybe they didn't, but they just didn't voice it like he did, but whatever the case. And then the two, the gentleman and the woman on the other side were for it. So you can imagine. And also think about the numbers when it comes to votes.
Second.
Chairman, I'd like to nominate Bob McCarthy.
And I will second that.
Can I have a point of order? There's a motion that's been seconded and is on the table.
No, both of them go.
That's not Robert's rules.
That's Robert's rules. You can have two, and we vote accordingly.
You have to take them one at a time.
No, we can take them both at the same time and vote on one. Yeah.
Robert's rules are rules that are for open meetings. Like, it's not like you get to choose whether to use it or not. You're supposed to follow them. I mean, there's our open meetings here in Etowah County go by Robert's rules, as far as I know. If I'm incorrect, please put it in the chat or a comment so I can correct it. But otherwise, but he's like, no, we ain't gonna do it. No, it's not to you and see, you can already tell what kind of mentality he is. And I'm telling you, if y'all vote in somebody that acts like this or even thinks this way, don't do it. That's all I gotta say. Don't do it.
Well,
So,
I've been doing Robert's Rules of Order for 30-plus years, and I think I know it better than somebody who's never sat on a committee.
Okay, that's the problem. I know I keep stopping, but I can't help it because these are points that I'm trying to make. I've been sitting on whatever for, on whatever committees for 30-something years. Okay, that's a problem. If you're acting like that and you're doing whatever you want to, and it's very apparent that Kathleen, I believe that's her name, is very, very intelligent and she knows how to do things. And that's the other thing. Sometimes, some people are doing things for too long, or, and maybe you want to get somebody different or younger, or I don't know, because they get to where they feel complacent. And I don't want somebody filling those the council seats and the mayor seat that are complacent, that they're just showing up for a paycheck or whatever, and to have the notoriety. I don't want that. I want somebody that's going to do their research, be prepared, and not act like an ass in front of the public. All right.
Now, we have a motion before us. The motion is, and we'll go, because that's my priority, we'll vote on Mr. McCarthy first. Roll call, please.
He is Mr. McCarthy.
Kathleen?
I object because it's not Robert's rules, but I vote for Dave.
I would like to ask if a couple of the members would like to recuse themselves since they're associated with the police. The underlying article has mentioned that there should be no affiliation with the police in the article, not to discredit any of your personal accomplishments, but there should be no police on the committee as written in Article 6 of the special town meeting warrant.
I disagree with that, and quite frankly, we're moving on. So how are you voting on this?
Who does that? I mean, 900 people voted to have a committee, and that the members of the committee have no ties to police, and two over there already sitting, just because you don't hang out with them all the time, or you just see them through a Zoom meeting, that doesn't mean you don't have ties. Lord, help.
How are you voting?
What's the
Up or down? Yes.
Why are you voting? Up or down?
Please hear the vote again. What's the question?
To elect Mr. McCarthy as chairman of this committee.
No,
Kathleen voted
objection.
no.
Oh,
No,
God.
objection. I nominated before anybody else. That was the motion that's been
That's how it
seconded.
works.
That's on the floor.
No, it isn't.
You're out of
To
order.
nominate
You
Bob.
could have two on the
You're out
floor
of
at the
order.
same time. No, I'm not. You're out of order.
You're out of order.
or no?
No, you're out of order.
You? No.
Y'all are all out of order. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes.
And
Yes? Yes.
you gentlemen,
We have
has
three-
everyone taken
We
conflicts
have
of
three
interest?
Okay, I think that's enough of that because it gets me fired up. And again, I want to get to our stuff, to here in Southside. Let me make sure I get the right thing pulled up. Okay, good. All right. Yeah, so that's a lot of the SHIT that's going on in Canton, that when I was observing, I thought, I need to see what's going on in my town because I'm old and I don't know people. I don't get out and talk to folks, and I need to start learning about my candidates, my elected officials, and I want to make sure they're doing what's right for our town. And so so that's what I've learned in the 2 years from Canton and from Norfolk County and from the Karen retrial. And shout out to all my friends. I can't wait to see y'all in October. But anyways, all right, so let's move along. All right. Okay, so I know some people probably saw those videos and said, why are we watching this boring Okay, actually, it's not boring. It's funny as hell. Second of all, I mean, it's not funny for the citizens, but their behavior is funny. But anyways, like I said, I don't want Southside to ever get like this. And I'm seeing the Canton citizens. I mean, you can see in those videos, they are beginning to speak up because they're tired of it. And I'm seeing some change. On the select board, they recently had an election, and one guy that had been on the same seat for like 20 or 30 years got voted out, and they have a new member. And so I'm tickled. So I think their next vote is their district attorney, who is corrupt. Yes, I said it, but there is evidence out there. But anyway, so I'm praying that they get a new district attorney. And also this, watching them, and I watched another content creator who he was like interviewing some of the candidates that are going to be running for DA, and I thought I should do that because I want to get to know these people. I mean, I don't get out. I'm old. I don't do stuff. And where I live, we all just stick to ourselves. We don't talk a lot. And so this is why I wanted to do it. And I definitely don't want to vote in somebody like this. I remember back in when the rendering plant mess was going on. Yes. Okay. So, and then there was like the Gadsden mayor election, and everybody, I knew I wouldn't vote because I don't live in Gadsden, but I remember everybody's going, "Oh, Craig Ford, he's such a good guy. Yeah, blah, 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 and these older women were like, "Yeah, he's a good man." Okay. If you go onto what's happening in Gadsden or whatever, and they're having a discussion, and I mean, he gets in there and he is rude to his constituents. He is a Bob McCarthy. And that's in Gadsden. That's just a hop, skip, and jump away from us. So, and like right here, okay, yes, I tried to crop and not show somebody's name, but he's responding to, one of the citizens and told her, "You're clueless." Who said that? How is that even professional? It's not. And so it was a joint effort between Phoenix, City of Gadsden, IDA, and I think it's Tachyon. I don't know how to say that, but it was talking about the Goodyear plant, how some place is buying it and they're going to put some, I don't know, offices or not offices, businesses, or was it? I don't know. That's how much I paid attention to it because I was so pissed off that he's in there acting that. And then under my page, Facts, Opinion, and Real Talk, I respond. Every time I see him make some kind of comment like that, I do respond and I say, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, Mayor, but that is very disappointing that you talk to your constituents that way. And it is. It is. And people voted for somebody to act like that. Now, if he's doing this on Facebook, hiding behind a keyboard, what is he doing behind the scenes? Or out in public and we don't, and not everybody sees. Yeah, I don't want that in my town. So I just wanted to make sure and point that out, that I don't want a Craig Ford on any place in my town. So, let's see here. What's next on the agenda? Okay. So something I wanted to share with you guys, and the purpose of this whole kit and caboodle is I wanted to, like I said, I wanted to get to know my candidates. Number one, I don't get out. I don't get out. I don't go to any campaign events. I don't have kids, so I'm not involved in like those kind of activities. Okay. So I don't know these people. And some of them, I might know their name, but I don't know anything about them or how they plan, what to do for our city. And honestly, I get tired of the videos that they make and how they're going to go down to the local whatever and scoop. I'm just using this as a example. Scoop up and fix ice cream and kiss babies. No. I don't care about that. I don't care about seeing your family's pictures on your candidate page, because your family's not going to be sitting in that seat at City Hall. Your family's not making that decision that you're going to be making for my future as a citizen. I'm glad that people are Christians that want to state that they are Christians. I don't care. I do not care what your religion is. I want to know what you're going to do down at City Hall for me and my future and where I live in my town that I've been here for 20-something years. And that's what I want to know. And so what I did was I went and I sent, let's see, let me get the exact dates. Okay. So I sent out invitations through social media to all 3 mayor candidates and all city council candidates for a free interview on my platform. My platform, I have over 100 and something subscribers. Is that a lot for a YouTube channel? No. Do I care? No. But the point is, that might be 100 and something people that maybe they live here, maybe they don't, but they would listen. And it's also a great free way to get your message out. And I didn't want to have like just a general debate, I wanted to have a sit down and just ask them some questions. And yeah, I let them know the questions ahead of time because I wanted them to have time to really think. I mean, it wasn't a debate, it was an interview. And I wanted to make sure that, some questions that maybe I've seen floating around on the internet or, maybe they had touched on in some of their videos. I had questions. So out of all of the candidates, I had 2. So you can go to my channel and you can see that I had an interview with Mayor Dana Snyder. And I also had an interview with Blake Habian, who is a candidate for the city council for place 1. And I had a lovely time, and they had a lovely time, and it was relaxed, and they got to be themselves, and I got to kind of see a side of them that maybe I wouldn't have got to see had they not taken the opportunity. So all the others missed out. And so I want you, as a citizen of Southside, to take a moment and think about that, because how the interview is, it's kind of like Zoom, or it was kind of like FaceTime, and we just talked, and it was recorded, and people couldn't carve out like 30 minutes of their time for a citizen who was going to give them free advertisement for their campaign. I mean, and some of them ignored me. And y'all know on Facebook, if you send somebody a message, you can tell when they've seen it. That is, So most of them ignored me. And that's fine because they're not going to get my vote. I don't know who will get it, but I'll have to do some research because I'm not going to do like I used to. Oh, who are you voting for? Oh, who are you voting for? No, that's ignorance. That's what that is. You need to stop being lazy, just like myself, and you need to research who these people are. You need to find out what they're about, not when they're just, like whatever that hot mess was Saturday. I mean, I was glad for, where was it held? Saturday. I just saw it. Hold on. Because I want to make sure I mention it because it's a local business and I do support local businesses. Except I didn't think this was a good idea. Oh, Smoke Neck Farm and Garden. Not really for sure where that's at. But shout out to them for hosting, I guess. But, let's be real. It was hot as hell. Who wanted to really stand out there? And how are people that are disabled and elderly going to stand out there and listen to what they had to say? And then people tried to do Facebook Lives, and not everybody had the whole thing. And so that was like, that wasn't good. And you couldn't even hear the ones that did get some recording. You couldn't even hear what they were saying. You couldn't hear the questions. And then there was the whole debacle if somebody was cheating and getting questions or something like that. And, that's ridiculous. If you got to go get, I just can't with that. But anyways, so I just felt like that was ridiculous. And that of the 2 interviews I got more accomplished than that did Saturday. So, because I think some people didn't even learn a thing because they just keep regurgitating the same information. And that's why, I love this platform because you can be yourself and say, talk a little bit more than what you would there and have the opportunity to talk. So yeah, I was really disappointed because I really thought that I would have more candidates to respond. And so that was very disappointing because I'm going to tell you, there's some of them that they know who I am and I know who they are and they didn't respond. So shame on you. But anyways, so those that did, their actions spoke big time for me. So I think, and this was something I was trying to think about earlier, that actually Catherine mentioned in the video is, the buzzword this year is transparency. I mean, it's not just here. It's all over the United States. Law enforcement's trying to be transparent, and I'm seeing a lot of change with that, and I think it's great. And, we want more transparency with our government, which is kind of hard because you got to find that balance of what does the public not need to know right now, or that wouldn't really, they just don't need to know. And then what do they need to know? So I'm sure that's a difficult balance. But we got to determine who is going to be truly transparent with us and who is going to give us the appearance of transparency. And the way she said that in that meeting, I really liked it. She used different words, but I interchanged with transparency. So, yeah, who's going to be truly transparent with us and who is going to give us the appearance? Yeah. And see, I don't know because nobody, they didn't come talk on my channel, but that's all right. That was their loss. So in my opinion, we all want change, whether it's the same people that's going to be sitting in the seats or if it's going to be new people taking over those seats. We want change. We want transparency. And we don't want just the appearance of transparency. If you have to sit down with the citizens and talk about it, then let's do it. Let's talk. I mean, like I said, communication is key and listening. And then lastly, accountability. I can't think of anything right off the top of my head about accountability and Southside. I know there's some things that people are not happy with about some there was some job replacements, and I'll word it that way because it's not really my story to tell, even though it affected the town. but it's not my story to tell. But whatever the case, I don't know the situation. So, I mean, would it have been better if we knew or not? I don't know. But that, the decision was, our government, not us. So we got to find a way to where we can have some transparency and know what's going on. But, I know if they give us too much, then you don't want the whole town to be panicking and being mad and starting mess all over the place. So I wouldn't want their jobs. I wouldn't want to be the mayor. I wouldn't want to be city council. I wouldn't. I mean, but those are some shit jobs. Yeah, I said shit. But I'm serious. Those are some shit jobs. I mean, and you know what? Whoever gets them, good for them. Because not me. But the main, a main point that I wanted to bring about is if we don't have leaders, or if we don't elect leaders that actually listen and communicate for the betterment of our town, and we're just voting them in because so and so down the road told me to, or my cousin's hairdresser's husband works with so and so and he said he was a good one. No. Again, laziness. Do your research. So, and you still have time because polls open tomorrow. So, my big point of tonight is get your ass down there and vote tomorrow. Because if you don't go vote, do not say one thing. You better not be gossiping Wednesday. You better not be complaining because you don't have a right to if you didn't go vote. So get out and vote. It's so important. And, these are the elections that really, really matter to me. And I'm not a political person. Let me make that, I want to be sure everyone knows that. I'm not one of this political, Republican, Democrat. No, I just want somebody good to sit in those seats and do their job like they're supposed to. That's all I want. That's all I want. So I know some people, and even I did. So if anybody from the city hears this, maybe we could have a little bit better ways to find it. But some people could not find a sample ballot. Some people don't even know what a sample ballot is. Some people don't even know that sample ballots are available. Okay, so I'm going to pull one up and I'm going to go over it with you. All right, give me just 1 second. I got to share my screen. Oh, I got to remove that. Craig Ford. Yeah, we don't want Craig Ford. And you can go tell him. I don't care. Okay. Oh, man. The screen is small. Wonder if I can make it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Did that help? Okay. Again, hang tight. This is a one-woman show. Let me see if I can. Hang tight just a second because I really wanted this to pop up. So this is not what I'm wanting it to do. All right. Okay. Hang on. I'm going to try to do it a different way. we go. Hang tight. Okay. Live streams are great. Things work, and sometimes they don't. Okay. Yeah. Computer. Open. Okay. This is still not exactly how I wanted, but maybe you can, because I can't even see it. Let me see if I can make it bigger. Nope. No. Okay. Well, anyways, to find it, go to Southside's website, which is cityofsouthside.com. Then you're going to click on city and click on public notices. And then you'll see like about 3 PDFs and the fourth one, it says sample ballot for upcoming municipal elections. So I'm just going to go over this the best way I can, which I think I've got one over here I can look at. Okay. I apologize that I can't get it any bigger, but that's just how it goes sometimes. Okay. All right. So sample ballot, it just gives you instructions, like there'll be ovals by each candidate's name. So be sure to complete that oval, just like standardized testing when you were in school. Make sure you fill in the thing, because you got to slide it in those machines, and if they can't read it, then your vote doesn't get counted. All right, so let's see who's running for what. Okay, for mayor, vote for one. So don't be in there marking 50 people under one thing. So we've got Dan Childs, Dana Pentecost Snyder, and Joey Statham. For city council place 1, again, you only vote 1 in each section. So in this one, we have Keith Clay, Blake Habian, and Kevin Stevens. For city council place 2, your choice is Justin Chandler or Jennifer McGriff. For city council place 3, you have Joseph Hutchins and Eddie Thompson. For city council place 4, we have Wally Burns and Shane Ham. And then for city council place 5, we have Brett Davis and we have Danny L. Garnett. So that is who all the candidates are that are running for Southside's city council and for the mayor. So, that was a lot. I didn't expect to take a lot of time, but it's important. This is important to me. Don't wait till you're 50 to decide that this is important to you. If you are 18 and above, you need to be registered to vote. That's how my grandmother, she was always people had to register to vote. She was big about voting. But anyways, so be sure to get out and vote tomorrow. Voting begins at 7 a.m. and it's at the Southside Community Center. So the polls open at 7 and they close at 7 p.m. So, you got all day to get over there and go vote. So, all right, I'm tired, worn out. I said what I wanted to say. No, some of them I've got to research and decide who the ones I didn't get interviews, I've got to decide, what I think about them, because nobody contacted me. I wasn't important enough as a citizen to be contacted or even get a return response. So, yeah, so there's that. But anyways, all right, I've done enough griping for the night. So, oh yeah, don't forget, please subscribe to my channel. It's free. Doesn't cost anything. I don't send you a bunch of email mess. I just need some more viewers for my channel. Because my channel, I advocate for missing in Alabama because we don't have enough advocates for that. I am an activist when it's coming to injustices, and that's another reason why I did this. I'm working on trying to bridge the gap between citizens and law enforcement. I mean, these are some important things that we all need to think about. So, and yeah, just subscribe, like this video, share it if you want to, gossip about it. I don't care. And hit the notification bell because I don't ever know. I don't have a set schedule, so I never know when I'm going to pop on and talk about something important and you might miss it. So hit that bell. But anyway, so until next time, stay safe, be aware of your surroundings, and please do the right thing. And that means go vote.